It has been a day. How's it going, Wolfpack? Happy Halloween, bitches! I am in my Halloween scrubs. I just got back from work and I thought to record this video before October is done. It probably won't be uploaded until after midnight, but hey, I'm recording it on Halloween. Everyone chill. It's being done. Welcome back to another episode of the Wolfpack Reading Club. I am so excited to talk about these books. We had some really great ones this month. I'm really happy about them, so let's talk about it. So the first book that I read was called The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm. It was Tales from Alagacia, Volume 1 for Aragon. Basically, this is a continuation mini novelette series of the Aragon series, which is one of my favorite book series in the entire world. Like, Christopher Pellat is, oh my god. Christopher Pellat is a genius when it comes to writing. His storytelling and the way that he inputs the characters into the story is just phenomenal, and he did it again in this novelette. He gave us a little taste of Alagacia again after it's been so many years since his last book came out, and I have been waiting for this series because I knew he was working on something. Basically the book is broken up into different chapters. Each chapter has different characters and different points of view. There's one actually that's written by Angela the why can I not say this word? The herbalist. Oh my god. And of course she's one of the badass characters that Christopher put into this, and she's actually named after his sister Angela, which I thought was pretty cool to have his family member into this book. And the sister actually wrote the book as to how she thought Angela would like deal with this situation, and I thought it was so cool. Definitely rating this book 5 wolf heads out of 5. You guys have to read this book. Like, it's just so well done. If you haven't read the Aragon series, read the Aragon series first. I so hate it when I tell people to read a book and then there's a series and I'm like, hey, read the first part. I'm like, now I'll just read that specific book. You won't get it. You won't get anything. It's based off of the book series, so you have to read the first book series and then you can read the novelettes and it'll all make sense. The next book that I read was It Gets Worse, a collection of essays by Shane Dawson. I read the first one and I think the second one was placed into my favorites. This book, it was so well done. I mean, there's not much that I can say about it. It was a really well done book. If you don't know who Shane Dawson is, Shane Dawson's a YouTuber, and he's currently doing a collab with Jeffree Star, which I'm so freaking excited for. I have saved up my money, and I'm getting the collection bundle, which I will be unboxing on this channel if I can get it. Let's just hope that everything works out well this time. I'm literally gonna cry if it doesn't. I need to get that bundle. I don't even care about bills. I just want to get that bundle. I will literally spend my life savings to get everything. Written about all these different topics and issues that he's dealt with that are so relatable, and it's just amazing to see someone work their way up. Absolutely nothing to getting recognition on YouTube, to being on YouTube for 12 years and being successful, and then working side by side with Jeffree Star. Like, that is such a privilege, and like, oh my god, amazing. But the book was amazing. It was really good. I'm gonna rate it about 4 wolf heads out of 5. The next book that I read was The Winner's Curse by Mary Rutkowski, and this book, I love female protagonist characters. They are just so powerful and so awe-inspiring to me. It's just a great book to sit down and read and to kind of take yourself into a new world. The story is about these two different types of peoples. There's one group of people called the Valorians, I think they're called, and basically they are like the Romans. They came from another country and they sailed down and they invaded this other city or country that has this other group of people, which I'm forgetting the name of, but I'll put it down below if I remember. And basically when they invaded and took over, they pushed all of these people out of their houses. They made them into slaves. Basically, it was a huge segregation and like racism issue. And these people were oppressed and persecuted and felt like they had no choice but to serve the Valorians, because the Valorians were more powerful, they were more strong, they were more organized, they had armies and they had military, and unfortunately these people were farmers and they were artists, and they were people who loved and didn't fight. Like, they had a small navy, but they used it for going out and looking and exploring, and they were really like just good souls, and they didn't want to fight, they didn't want to do any of that. So unfortunately they lost pretty quickly when it came to the invasion, and they became slaves. So the actual story is about this girl named Kestrel, and she's named that because the Valorians are very into war, and her father's the general, and he wanted to name her after the great hunting bird, the kestrel. So basically, as a general's daughter, she's expected and to have like this high, everything that she does, society does. So, she goes out into society, people are watching her and staring at her. Whatever she's wearing, people try to wear the same thing because she sets the trends. She's the popular chick of school. Everyone loves and adores her, or they absolutely hate her. Like, there's no in between. She's got very few friends because people are more just friends with her, or want to be friends with her to get towards her father, to get recognition, to get money, to get fame, to get all this stuff. And she just wants to live a normal life. Like, she doesn't want anything to do with war and all this stuff, which is funny because the people think the general's daughter would be super into war and military, but she's not. She's actually artistic, and she loves playing the piano. And apparently, for some odd reason, the Valorians hate music because they find it too leisure-taking. They think it's lazy activity. They think it's not respectable, which is kind of weird. But apparently, because the other city of people that they invaded loved music and loved art, they wanted to get rid of everything that would entice them to want to play their music, which is really sad. So Kestrel's mom passed away, and she used to love playing the piano before they invaded this new city where they banned music. And she begged her father to bring her piano down, so they brought her piano down for her. She was playing, and that was her one thing that her father would allow her to do in secret, was play the piano. So her father already knows that she's not going to live up to standards of society. It's just not going to happen. But he's really trying and really pushing her to do it, which causes a rift between them. And one day she decides to go out without an escort, and there's apparently Valorian women who are not married are supposed to have an escort with them. It's very weird. Like, the traditions and the regulations of this society are very, very weird. Almost like old Victorian, but not really. It's interesting. But anyways, so she goes out without an escort with her best friend, and they go throughout the town, throughout the marketplace, and something is calling her to the end of town. She ends up at the slave auction, and she's sitting there, and everyone turns, and they're surprised to see that she's there. And then all of a sudden this young guy comes out that's being put on for sale, which is really sad and really disturbing. She kind of meets eye contact with this person, and she all of a sudden raises her hand and starts bidding. And because people around saw that, oh, the general's daughter's interested, we should be interested too, and started bidding all this money. Finally, she cries out this ridiculous sum. It's a really high amount. Their currency's kind of weird. I think it's around $50,000, technically, if we're to convert it into Canadian, US currency. Probably be $50,000 for one person. It was a lot of money, and everyone was shocked that she had spent this much on a slave. And when they asked her, why would you do that? Because you're a friend, or why would you do that? She's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know why I did it. I just saw this person, and I knew I had to get him. So it was just a weird situation. They didn't bring him back home, and right away, this slave is he's very arrogant, he's very combative, he doesn't follow rules, he doesn't follow orders, and Kestrel absolutely adores him. She thinks he's the best thing that's ever happened to her. He's funny and sarcastic, but also being super arrogant towards authority, and she thinks this is the best thing in the world, even when it's against her authority, which is kind of interesting that she would like that. I guess because everyone's just so used to bowing down to her and giving her whatever she wants, that when someone says no, she finds it interesting. That's what I'm kind of getting out from it. But basically, something happens, and it causes Kestrel and this guy's relationship to kind of go into different places, and the most craziest stuff happened in the city, and they have to work through these problems together. And I think it was such an interesting book, and the ending was it was predictable in the sense that I kind of saw where it was going, but I also didn't, because there was a few events that happened that was like, okay, I didn't see that coming exactly, but everything kind of went into the pathway that I thought the book would take. Nevertheless, I still would 100% recommend this book. It was so well written. I really like the author's way of putting you into the character, what they're feeling, but using third person. Like, they weren't using first person, they were using third. But I still felt like I was feeling everything that Kestrel was feeling, and most of those chapters were about her. There were a few chapters were about the guy and from his point of view, which I thought was kind of clever because it's nice to see different perspectives. The one thing I didn't like in the book, though, is that halfway through a chapter, she would switch perspectives. So sometimes there was like a chapter about Kestrel, a chapter about this guy. But like couple chapters, there was like a paragraph about Kestrel's point of view, and then the next one was a paragraph of his point of view. And then there was a line of hers and a line of his. It was very kind of interesting, but also very confusing. And I had to really think about, okay, whose head am I in right now? It was just kind of hard to follow. However, still a great book, still a great series, and I definitely would recommend it. This is the first book. I'm definitely gonna read the second and third, just because it was really interesting for me. So definitely gonna rate this 4 wolf heads out of 5. And the last book that I read was Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nagan. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, this book was it was melding of so many worlds. I was truly actually enchanted by this book. It was like Memories of Geisha meet Shadowhunters meets like autobiography meets like, oh, it was just so many different things wrapped into one book, and I can't wait to read the next book in the series. But basically it's about this girl named Aoki. It's set in Japan, but in like medieval Japan. The book is based off of tradition from their stories that were told in the past. So apparently there was this time when the gods all had this amazing party and they were laughing, having fun, and then the colors from their party like rained down onto the earth, and the people, the human beings, they call them paper people, were out in this rain of colors, and some of them were afraid and ran back into their homes, and other ones embraced the color. So the ones that like embraced the color became the moon caste, which were changed them into like demons. Like they were both like humanoid, animalistic creatures. So like we had like a half human, half bull, and you had like a half human, half crocodile, and like all these really interesting combinations, but they all looked like they belonged, like anatomically the features kind of all cinched together. And then there's the second caste called the Silver Caste, who are they're people that kind of, I guess, were running into the home as they were getting hit by the rain, and it's very apparent that they have like 75% human and the rest is like animalistic. So they have like some powers or whatever, but they don't have any magic or anything like that, whereas like the demon cast have like magical powers and all this stuff with their animalistic. And then the humans who have nothing, who were the ones that ran and hid in their homes during this event, are called the paper cast because they're known as fragile like paper, because they're just human beings, and they're basically used as the servants and, you know, as the workers, and they do all the things that the demons don't want to do, and the demons rule. They are rich, they have lots of money, the people wait on them hand and foot, and the actual king of this era is a demon cast, and he's fucking asshole to put it lightly, of course, because he's gonna be arrogant as shit. And the way the story is told is that there was rivalries and rebellions starting all around the world. So to make the people happy, the king said, okay, well, I will take 7 girls from the paper cast as like my personal concubines, and that will, like, I will take care of their families, I'll give them lots of money, and like these girls will live lavishly for the rest of their lives to kind of keep the paper cast quiet. And so apparently like these girls some of them look forward to it, like it's the best thing in their life. They've all wanted to be paper girls. But then there's the people that live in the outskirts of the country who are stolen from their families, and all of them are basically stolen from their families, but you know, they have no choice, and they're told like, hey, if you don't come with us, we will kill your family, we'll kill all your friends. Like they're literally just taken from their homes and thrown into this situation. And it was really sad to read about, but very interesting, because it's interesting to see the different perspectives of people who are oblivious and people who know. Like people are oblivious, or they're happy, they want to be there, you know, they love being dined, waited on, all this stuff. And the people who know like what the hell is going on, they're like terrified and they're scared for their lives, and they can't understand why the other girls are okay with this. And it's just it's really interesting. And that's what happens to Ioki. She gets taken from her home because one soldier saw her eyes. She has these beautiful gold eyes that shine in the light, and she's completely human. She's got no demonesque powers at all, but she's sought after for her eyes. And they basically steal her from her family, take her to the king, and she has to become one of his concubines. And it's basically her journey trying to fit in with these girls. She's a country girl, they're from the city, you know, she's the only one that doesn't have grace and poise. She's very like rugged and works with her hands, and she's you know, not very like eloquent with her words and whatnot, so people like to make fun of her for it. And she soon becomes like the king's favorite because she's completely different from the other girls. But you know, throughout these journeys, you kind of realize that this place is really fucked up, and you have to see how Aoki's gonna like deal with different challenges that come her way. And it's just a really interesting story, and I would definitely recommend someone reading it. There is at the beginning of the book, which I find amazing, a trigger warning for people who can't deal with sexual assault and you know, abuse and things like that, just because you know that the author is very aware of what these stories can do to people reading them. And I think that's really sweet and really honest of the author to add that. So definitely rating this book 5 wolf heads out of 5. I cannot say enough about this book. It was really, really interesting, and I can't wait to read the second part of the series. It was just something I never thought I would have read or would have picked up. Next books I'm going to be reading for the month of November are Justine, her autobiography that she did, analog memoir. Ooh, fancy. And then I'm also going to be reading Shit Girls Say, which is one of my absolute favorite videos on YouTube. So this definitely looks so interesting. And then I will also be reading the second book of the Girls of Paper and Fire. And I will also be starting another series called The Assassin's Blade. It's the series of Throne of Glass by Sarah Maas. I have been wanting to read this book for so long, and I had to actually order it from a different library. Our library here did not have this, and I wanted to read it, so I asked them if they could please get this book series, and they did for me, and I'm so happy. Anyway, so that's all I have for November. So those are all the books I had for this month. What did you guys think? Did you read these books this month? If you did, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of them. If you're going to read these books, let me know in the future what you think about them. I will answer your comments. And if there's any books that you guys want me to read, let me know down below. Also, I have all my social medias open in the description. If you don't want to comment, you want to DM me, or you want to talk to me in social media, then definitely follow me on everything there. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe to join the Wolfpack today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. WolfHowls for Wolf. Bye!